And here we are once again for the Battle of the Bones rivalry game in Memphis, Tennessee. It's the Blazers, it's the Tigers, it's a rivalry. There's not much to be said other than that. So after avenging our loss from the first season at home against these Tigers last season, we'll take them on here again in the third season, but they are now a down team in comparison to the first season. They were a very good team the first year. I think their quarterback, Blake Barnett, no relation to former Alabama quarterback Blake Barnett, by the way, but I think he has the most interceptions already in the American Conference. And so O'Kee, who is dangerously close behind him, will try not to make this a turnover happy game where we compete with him for interceptions as Barnett winds up to throw here on a very early down, and Spears almost there able to come up with the interception, but it slips right through his fingers. Second down here for the Tigers. They'll drop back here once again to throw, and it is thrown, and Kerry Brown decks the receiver, not giving him a chance to get to that ball. It's 3rd and 10 here early for the Tigers. We are 9-0. That game last week against Army, unfortunately unable to record it, but a nice victory nonetheless for the Blazers. That'll That'll force the Tigers to punt here and to board their back to return. He has returned a couple kicks already in his career, and he is always eligible to break any play at all. As we send out O'Kee, the lead horse, on this wagon for his first possession of this game. The stadium is rocking here for this rivalry game, but LeCount will have the first tote of the game, picking us up a 4-yard. 0 is in. You know we want to let him spin, but right now we're going to take our time. We got some scripted plays here on the first drive of the game that we want to go to, as we'll hand it off there to LeCount for a second time there on the RPO. All our other options being taken away there on that play. But O'Kee pointing his guys out, telling everybody what to do, wants Ferguson to sit down, but he goes upfield a little bit, gets that back shoulder catch, pushing us up now to the 26-yard line. Going forward is the offense now to board, checking in. Will go right behind his left guard off his butt, try to juke the safety, but doesn't get past him, but does get first down yardage there down to the 14-yard line. This offense chugging along as LeCount come back into the game now, and we'll try to throw it down here to Hooks. We get him for 3 yards as the pressure you saw was barreling down there on O'Kee. He was just able to get that away to Hooks. But now we got LeCount, who will take the handoff here, looking to go into the end zone for his 9th touchdown on the season, but not able to get past that second level. So now it is 3rd and 1 here for the Blazers inside the red zone. We'll throw it out to Byler, who will walk into the end zone. Not that many catches, but he does have 5 touchdowns on the season. You've got to be happy if you're Byler. In the last couple weeks, you had a meeting with Coach Cena. You told him that you wanted to get more targets per game. He promised to get you more involved in the game plan, and you can see it's paying off for Byler, Coach Cena, O'Kee. This Blazers offense, nobody's selfish on this team, right now, and that's the most important thing. That's what's got everybody bought in, and that there is not a selfish bone on the body of the offense. Right now, everybody is getting their own portion of the meal, and that's what you like to see here for the Blazers as we bring out the defense now, again, and an overthrow there by the Memphis quarterback, Barnett. there, looking shaky. That inaccuracy is probably why he has so many interceptions. But now, lining up here on second down, he'll dump it down to the running back, who I was manned up with, but didn't get out there on him. And that is my fault as the Tigers get a first down here. You like I said, they're not a very good team. It seems that way thus far. I can kind of see some of the faults as you see there. Tough catches like that by the tight end have to be made in order to be a successful offense. Not getting any yards on first down there will not help. As now the Tigers offense predictably going for a handoff, and we're all in the backfield there. And so now, what I was alluding to is a situation that the Tigers are in right now. Third and long for Barnett, who already has accuracy issues. We have a pretty good defensive line as they get the completion there right in front of our defender, unable to get to the receiver there before he comes away with the catch. But that will move the chains, and so our defense has to do their job to keep this offense from going forward. And Dontrell Lester, who has had playing time in the last couple of games, you've seen him fly all over the field, get sacks, interceptions, things like that, and now tackles that will stifle the running back there. In clutch games, I want to see him continue to grow. And Hartman gets his opportunity, and it bounces off the receiver's hands, who may have had an opportunity there to bring that in, corral it, and have a big catch, but instead it is an incompletion. Hartman, who was there stride for stride with the receiver, is there once again trailing the receiver, and it is knocked away there by Spears, who comes over to help Hartman. May have been a little out of position. As you see, Jazier Peterson is injured. Not what we want to see right there on our defensive line. Jazier Peterson has been making a lot of impactful plays this season. We want to see him back on the field as quickly as possible. But that will bring out the punt team there for the second time on the game. And Tabor will run away from it and just let it go into the end zone. Opening play of the second drive, and we'll just dump it out to the count, but he is unable to get the simple completion there. Is O'Key hoping that the crowd noise isn't getting to him. O'Key now brings Byler in motion, dumps it down on that drag route to Byler, who gets a first down there to get the chains going. Has his second catch after that touchdown grab earlier in the game on the first drive. And so with the clock winding down, we'll get our last playoff of the first quarter and dump it down to Bishop, who fights down but will get the first down. I thought it was a little bit short, and that'll be the first quarter. With that, we'll start the second quarter, and we'll bring Hooks in motion and fake a jet to him with no options to go anywhere. We'll just throw that one away. A little bit of a dangerous pass there by O'Key. Smart on him not to take it. I saw the playoff tree up there in the corner. We'll probably show it again after the game, but O'Key in the backfield with Tabor, stretching the field, getting the pitch out to Tabor, who will now fight down to make it 3rd and 1 there in midfield. Big spot here early in the game at midfield. We'll send Hooks in motion and pop it to him, and he's got the outside, unable to outrun the defender. There is Hooks. And you already know Coach Cena's style. This is not a spot where I expect him to come off the field whatsoever here at midfield. But there with the false start there by a freshman, I believe, or sophomore guard. And so the punt team now will indeed rush out, as we thought about going for it there. And rare sighting with the punt team, but they are much alive and well. They get plenty of practice in practice, but not as much in the game. And so the Tigers will get the ball back here at the 34 with 6.5 minutes left to go. Tricky play action there by the Tigers will pick them up a first down as Shazier Peterson, who I actually tried to keep out of the game, is injured there on a second straight drive there for us. So I'm hoping this time that he's, A, not seriously injured, B, they'll sit him out for a couple of plays. As on this second and inches, I'm sure they will come with the run as they send the receiver in motion in the jet. And Jaxon Howard, like you saw him doing a couple episodes ago, he pushes the defenders forward over the line instead of pushing them backwards. Not mad at him. Jaxon Howard, of course, like I said, one of my favorite players thus far on the season. Even though I'm gonna keep saying it. Wow, Jazier Peterson just tore his Achilles, and he is out for the rest of the season. That is such a huge blow to lose your senior red shirt defensive tackle in such a late game in the season. I didn't want him to come back in. I thought maybe if I kept him out, he wouldn't get hurt, and instead he tears his Achilles. So that is a big injury. And don't let the defense on the field get the news of that, or that may shake up the rest of the game starting now, as we got to focus in, as now in the red zone is the Tigers. We don't want this game to even really get close. We don't want it to even look competitive. We want to continue our dominance, especially since voters, the committee, playoff committee is not showing us any respect, as now doesn't matter anyway. They are pushing us around here on this drive. Now up to the 6 yard line here on first and goal for the Tigers. Barnett in the backfield all alone will call for the snap and scan the field there with the tight end over the middle. And Spears is lining him up, but he goes down before Spears can get to him. And man, I am afraid if Spears had hit him, he might have taken his head off. But here we are on 2nd and 4 for the Blazers defense, knowing that he's probably going to hand it off. Every time that they do the read option and they pull it, they get me. But that time CPU doesn't, either they don't pull it or I'm not sure. But nonetheless, now it's 3rd and 5 from the 5 yard line for the Tigers. And Zaquan Bryan just watches him walk into the end zone now for a tie game off the turnover on downs, the punt on the last drive by the Blazers. All in all, you don't want to make this a trickier game than it has to be. But now, with the game tied at 7, with 2.5 minutes to go in the game, the Blazers, who will try to get an outside run there by O'Kee, but just tripped up before he can get loose. If you are the Blazers, you don't want to get into a back and forth with a 2-7 team. When you're this good, this could be a trap game, especially in a rivalry. As you see now, it is 3rd and 11 here for the Blazers. And with the timeout there before we get to the 2-minute mark, you know Memphis is looking to get the ball back here and stop us and stop our momentum, get us off of our playoff hopes and tracks. As they come up with the stop there and call another timeout here with 1 minute and 58 seconds left, a failed drive there by the offense. And so we'll punt it away here back to the Tigers. And it is fair call. And that will start the drive for the Tigers at the 43. And so now the defense, much unlike the North Texas game where they came out, every time they came out with a bigger lead. The first time in a couple weeks that we are in somewhat of a competitive spot in a game, tied up here with not much offensive action, all defense right now for the Blazers. And that's Breida who reads that middle in route and catches the interception. My user, Nate Breida, linebacker from LSU, transfer, gives us the ball back there with 1.5 minutes and all 3 of our timeouts. Thank you to Memphis for taking their timeouts, giving us the opportunity to get the ball back off their own turnover. So we'll take our time here, try to find the right set of plays as we throw a dangerous pass there to Ferguson, but it is caught there by Ferguson. And so with a minute and ticking left in the second quarter, we'll continue our drive with Ferguson there once again, but this time it hits off his hands. And that must be a telltale sign that that play just a play ago should not have been a catch, should have been something different. As now O'Key, who is threatened, rolls out and gets out of the pocket past the first down marker there for a first down Blazers. O'Key keeping this offense going, keeping them on the field, hurrying it up to the line. Now we'll try to dump it out to the count, but just outthrown of his outstretched arms there. And that is okay, as that stops the clock. We still have all three timeouts here on the 26-yard line. So we have the whole game at our disposal. But there we throw it into the back of our offensive lineman, and it is deflected by the defensive tackle. So now 3rd and 10, those three timeouts don't even matter because right now we need to focus on getting the first down as we run right behind Ferguson and do just that, almost like a simulated quarterback draw. We kind of already knew what we wanted to do there with O'Key. Use his legs to stretch the defense, get the first down. We were able to do just that. As we come back now with the read option, and O'Key using his legs once again will churn his way down to the 4-yard line with 30 seconds left here to go in the quarter. He will snap the ball again here, hand it off to Tabor, and Tabor will walk in for a Blazer touchdown. 22 seconds left here for the Tigers after that interception on the last drive by Breida. Barnett, the American Conference leader in interceptions, will drop back once again and almost throw another interception right there to Breida, but there the receiver is able to come up with the catch and the run after the play, also getting out of bounds all the way up now to the 48-yard line. You'll see we're sneaking Kerry Brown off that edge to try to see about coming up with a sack, but instead it's another catch out to the tight end now to the 36-yard line is the Tigers. So in 2 straight plays there, we've given up chunks, trying to preserve the clock, but instead we need to keep the pressure up for the Blazers, keep the heat on as we've done so far in the game, as Breida tries to come up with the strip right there. But instead now that will bring out the field goal team for the Tigers. As you see, Coach Cena will use one of his timeouts there to try to frost out the kicker, as now he'll come out ready to kick and he'll receive the snap, and it is up, and we had an opportunity to block it, but it is good. So back deep to receive the kickoff is the Blazers. We have Collins back deep, our bruiser running back. I wonder every episode why I still have him back there, but I'm not changing it. He's our senior. We're going to keep him back there, keep his usage rate high, as LeCount and O'Key will come back into the game. Now on the field for the first drive of the second half. As you see, we'll try to hand it off to Tabor right there, but he is not able to come up with any yardage. And so LeCount now checking in, comes up with the same fate as Tabor on the previous play. This Tiger defense playing great run defense here on the Blazers. And so O'Key making adjustments here, trying to get outside, will fumble, and the Tigers come up with the ball there on their own 24-yard line. An unfortunate event there for Tabor. I'm sorry, not Tabor, O'Key, as we're already trying to keep his turnovers to a minimum, but there, a fumble on the play. And so it's thrown out to Quan Bryan's way. And now, in just one play, it is first and goal here for the Tigers. Adversity setting in for the 9-0 UAB Blazers. Have not been put in this position since the Temple game, but here we are in a competitive game for the first time in a long time, and that is knocked away by the defensive line. Able to get some pressure there on the quarterback that time. It takes a while, but we finally do get there as we have to bring some exotic blitzes and still not come up with a lot of pressure. As Jaxon Howard that time comes in with the sack, we send an overload of a blitz there, and Barnett can't get away from Howard on that play. Wonderful addition. I'm going to continue to say it. Has been Howard so far in this season. He's playing in those trenches with Amari Adams, who you know I love. And so the receiver now is the running back, as I was all over it, just a step behind. But now a field goal is what is forced off that turnover there by O'Kee on the right hash. It is up. It is split down the middle. It is good. Now making it a 1-point game. And while the Tigers are still down, they are not out. They are very much so still in this game, as you can see. And so Collins will receive the kickoff once again here for our second drive of the game. And hopefully here on this second drive, we can make a bit of a difference. As you see, O'Kee comes out with that snowflake off that fumble. Byler, who received this catch. You saw him have a touchdown on that same play last week. We do like that play. Byler, who is averaging more catches at first, he was probably getting one catch a game. Now getting 3 or more catches a game. Love to see that usage go up. Tabor now with the handoff there on second down will get us up to the 38-yard line and a first down. And Tabor still in the game now will be sent out on a route. And he wanted to go to him was O'Kee, but Ferguson is who he will find there for a big catch and run after the play. They're down to the 45-yard line now. It is first and 10 for the Blazers. Finding some type of rhythm, some type of consistency there is the Blazers. O'Kee uses his legs again, trusting himself after that turnover there earlier in the game. But he gets the first down there. As he saw man-to-man coverage, he trusts his feet. LeCount now checking in, will take the handoff and cut back hard. Picking up 5 there on the play. 7 carries so far in the game there for LeCount. I told you guys a couple episodes ago, it's starting to become a LeCount and Tabor show, kind of like it did there at the end. As you see a dive, our early favorite target of the season, get a catch there. They're starting to get going a lot better than they were at the beginning of the season. We were very running back rotational heavy. As you see Tabor get a handoff there. And now we're kind of slowing down, going to 2 backs, maybe a third here and there. But right now, I think we're pretty okay. As you see LeCount try to get a handoff there, but doesn't get anything. That's his 9th carry of this game. 3rd and 6 here for the Blazers. O'Kee will drop back. I think there's a spy on him, but he'll try to juke the defender out of his shoes and get into the end zone for a Blazer touchdown. O'Kee getting outside the pocket, knowing that there's a spy on him, putting a move on the defender there. Just getting outside the pocket, being an athlete, being better than the guy that's across the field from you. Love to see it there from O'Kee. Getting into the end zone here in a critical moment of the game. Look at that move again that he put on, and then got away from the defensive lineman just enough to get into the end zone to stretch the lead a bit more off that fumble. So despite the fumble on that drive there for O'Kee after the field goal, it doesn't cost UAB too much, as Hardman there is able to get close to stripping the receiver, but Kerry Brown comes to finish the job but knocks it out of bounds on that bone-rattling hit there on the receiver, who might have thought he had some space there. But, man, you got to look out for Kerry Brown. But there they throw the ball Hardman's way again. But under a minute left to go in the third quarter here for the Tigers in this close game. They'll go with the counter, and for whatever reason, the tight end is in the backfield, and he gets that carry, but he is met at the line. And so now they'll actually put their running back in the backfield and take the snap. Here is Barnett. I see something that he might try here over the middle, but he looks to step up and run, but he's met there by Howard and Marshall, who stop him before he can really get going. And that will make this a tough 3rd and 6 coming up after the third quarter. Last quarter of this Battle of the Bones trophy game, and no doubt that the Memphis Tigers want to spoil this season as Jaxon Howard deflects the pass there. Might have been enough to get a first down there for the Tigers. But our big time transfer, Jaxon Howard, OG Jax, long live my boy, man, comes up with the deflection to bring the offense back on the field with 7.5 minutes to go from the 14. We have got to make sure that we hold on to the ball, keep the clock going, put some points on the board, get some separation so we can coast to a victory. But right now, they're on first down and incompletion. That won't help keep the clock going. But a handoff to LeCount will do just that as he picks up 6 for his 10th carry of the game so far, as long as rush being 9 yards. This Tiger defense has done pretty well to corral this Blazer offense. And so now rolling out is O'Key, who will just slide down there to get the first down, keep the chains moving. He had some options that he felt like he could have thrown to, but the Tigers played pretty good defense right there. And so look at a dive there, going up to make that grab over the middle, a little overthrown there by O'Key, but nonetheless a good catch overall. O'Key with that reception only going over 100 yards. I mean, it's kind of been a stifling day offensively, but at the same time, he's done a lot with his legs as well as Tabor and LeCount. But there, a nice little catch by Tabor out of the backfield will add to his total on the day, as a die now will come in motion and receive a pop pass, and a die will hit the left side, and a die is down to the 10 and to the 5, and he is pushed out of bounds there close to the end zone. There making a big play is a die. Again, he is probably going to have a 1,000-yard season. LeCount now in the backfield, stuffed there once again. I keep saying it. These guys have done a great job all game of keeping this run game to a minimum. And so now 2nd and goal from the 6. We'll try to dump it here to Ferguson, who comes away almost with the catch, but it is knocked down there by the defender. Knocked away out of his hands. That is the 2nd drop of the day there by Ferguson. He had a pretty nice one earlier that hit him right in the hands. And O'Key will step up this time, trying to drag 2 defenders into the end zone. But he is unable to get across the line. And here on 4th and goal, the Blazers will stay on the field on offense, and O'Key will take it himself into the end zone for the 2nd touchdown of the game, and that will give us the 2-score lead here with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in this game, and it is looking good for us, for O'Key, who adds another rushing touchdown to his total in this season, in his career. Happy that we can probably at this point look forward to taking that Bones Trophy right back down to Birmingham. Not a long trip at all from Memphis, but we took the plane anyway, so we're gonna put it back on the private jet there with head coach Cena, and the team will fly back as well. But since we are looking to be in the playoffs here in a couple months, it was time to upgrade the facilities. We got a private jet approved by the Chancellor's office, the AD. And so one of our first orders of business is putting that Bones Trophy back on that private jet and bringing it back to Alabama. And so we'll see what this flag is, as Jaxon Howard was able to get to the quarterback there. And so that will be an illegal man downfield, and we'll just make him go backwards, try it again. So now on first and longer, the Tigers go with a screen, and now it's 2nd and 4. Probably could have taken that 2nd and 10 now, and this would have been 3rd and 4 for the Tigers. But instead, it is 2nd and 4. Still feel like we overall made the right choice as Judson almost comes up with an interception there, but instead it will be caught there by the defender, but not enough to make it a first down. So now on 3rd and inches, the Tigers will keep the offense out on the field again, and they throw it towards Spears, and Spears knocks it away there on the long pass down the left side of the field. Looks like Spears lost his star to Amari Adams somehow. I think I know how from all the tackles for loss and big plays that Amari Adams makes in his own right, but nonetheless, they know not to try Deshaun Spears, but it's okay. They will get the first down there on the very next play. They probably could have ran it earlier. And so they'll throw it up again, but the clock is still continuing to tick, 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 tick. So as long as that clock is going, we know that Memphis eventually has to use timeouts to keep this drive going as the quarterback looks around again, and this time is broken up by Hardman. And it's ironic because we definitely almost had some hands on Barnett on that last play. But this time we'll send a blitz to try to get home a little easier to Barnett. But it's thrown up there, and it is caught. And I think they're also going to call pass interference there on Kerry Brown. And they do. So it wouldn't have mattered either way. He probably should have just tackled him if he knew that was going to happen. But instead we give up the big catch there now on the 8-yard line. They'll decline that penalty and push themselves up to the 8-yard line now. And so Barnett there rolls out, but Marshall able to come up there with the sack on that play, pushing them backwards, continuing to keep the clock rolling here in the fourth quarter. Barnett dropping back again, scanning the field. This time throws it up and out of the back of the end zone. Had the defense barreling down on him once again. We're trying to come up with another sack, a sack attack to get this game over. Hardman now will come off the edge for that corner blitz. Not able to get there. Jaxon Howard, Kerry Brown, everybody fighting to get there. And Amari Adams is finally the one that gets hands on him, but not in enough time there to push Barnett down. That's what I don't like. That is something I don't like. All those people that almost had hands on him, and Barnett still able to get the ball away. Judson now on the corner blitz, throwing it Zaquan Bryan's way, and they give up another touchdown the same way that we gave up one before, the same way we always do. We think we have the interception, and then we end up giving up the catch. It's always better just to try to go for the deflection overall. But here, with 2.5 minutes left to go, we have to find a way with an 8-point lead to drain the clock out. When we already haven't had a lot of success in the running game. Hold on to the ball. Run a play here to get us to the 2-minute mark if Memphis doesn't go ahead and call a timeout right here. But we will hand it off ourselves to Tabor and just go down there short to try to get them to use a timeout. We probably could have got the first down right there, but I didn't want to get the timeout there all in one play. But what we are going to do is give ourselves the opportunity to make this a little funky here for the defense, as LeCount now will check in and get a first down. And we'll just go down once again. We don't want to put anything at risk here in this game this late in the season. We've already lost Jazeer Peterson for the rest of the season with an Achilles tear. And so now we don't want to risk anybody else. We'll go down here once more. It's Tabor, who is getting some nice gains here on first down on 2 straight first downs for us there. And so we'll hand it off to LeCount, who now will go up the gut and also get us to 3rd-and-inches here before the 2-minute warning. And so, although we do have PTSD about this play from the first season, we will run the quarterback sneak here to try to get the first down. If you guys remember, if you know, you know, man, if you were a fan of this season back at the BYU game. You know, that play really did something to my soul a long time ago. But in this game, it does not matter as it results in a first down here for the Blazers. And O'Key will come out here to take a knee and get this game over with so we can leave Memphis, go back home with that Bones trophy again, once again, lifting it up, leaving Memphis, Tennessee with it. That is our second straight win in this rivalry. As you can see, the guys are overjoyed that they get the chance to go back home with that trophy again. Okay, who else? Player of the game, 167 pass yards, 3 touchdowns responsible for another win, 10 wins on the season already, surpassing our first year total. Already into double digits is Coach Cena, raising the expectations in the standard here for UAB. We have 2 games left in the season, just 2 games left in the third season here of UAB Dynasty. How time flies. Join me on the next episode of the Blazing a New Path Dynasty here with the UAB Blazers. My name is Drism Gaming. Like, share, subscribe if you're new, and I'm out.